Max, can you see my screen, hopefully?
Yes, perfectly.
Fantastic. So first off, thank you very much for having me here, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Phelan, Head of Business Development here at High Performance Battery, and I'm really looking forward to be able to share some insights with you today on how we're redefining energy storage with our HPB solid-state battery technology. Even though I have only 4 minutes, and I will do my best to be able to try and keep to that as best as I can, I wanted to be able to give a brief agenda for the presentation before we move on to the question and answer session. So I want to talk about who we are, what we do, and how we do it. So let's start with a short introduction and tell you a little bit about who we are and really where we sit in the battery value chain. To keep it really straight and really simple and to the point, we're a battery technology developer, and we engineer a next generation solid state batteries. And we do not manufacture the batteries. However, instead, what we do is we develop our solid state technology and we license that to industry partners that have both production capabilities and market access. In our technology development, we have a clear focus on stationary applications. So basically anything from small, like home storage systems, to large, such as industrial buffers. I think it's probably clear for everybody already in the room, but I wanted to be able to highlight this as well, that global demand for stationary energy storage is growing rapidly and will continue to up to 2030 and beyond. And there's going to be a demand of more than 2,000 gigawatt hours. In fact, recent reports are putting that closer to the 3,000 mark in demand. All of this is driven by the expansion of renewables, grid stability needs, and long duration storage requirements. The growth is happening faster than any manufacturing infrastructure and technology pathways can really comfortably support. So for us, the development of a new battery technology is a path of responsibility. The foreseeable demand for lithium-ion batteries is really huge. It's gigantic. And it raises the question of which technology do we want to be able to scale up. The demand harbors the risk of replacing one sustainability problem with another, because every new battery means lithium mining, CO2 emissions, and at some point hazardous waste. At HPB, we are therefore paving the way to a better future. We believe that the energy storage should be safer, more sustainable, and accessible to everyone. What we do. To explain what we do, I think it helps to start with how we think at HPB. To redefine energy storage, we question the obvious in our technology development. Do batteries have to burn? Liquid electrolytes are inherently flammable, and this creates structural safety challenges at scale. Do batteries have to age? Aging is largely driven by interface stability, and new material systems allow us to be able to rethink this behavior. And do batteries have to harm the environment? And does battery production need to rely on heavy energy intensive steps and critical materials? These are the type of questions that really drive our daily business. And this brings me to what our technology is based on. Firstly, the safety aspect. Our solid state electrolyte is non-flammable. So by removing liquid components, we remove the primary driver of flammability in conventional batteries. Durability, we observe high cycle stability. So as Max mentioned, more than 12,500 cycles in ongoing testing, which were carried out on a 1C charge discharge at room temperature, again, enabled by solid state technology. And thirdly, environmental impact. Our approach reduces environmental impact and it uses fewer critical materials. Last not least, and I think this is probably what everybody's interested in, is how we do it. The process of our solid state electrolyte is special. It's liquid input, solid output. Our solid state electrolyte forms directly inside the cell from initial solid and liquid ingredients. This chemical in situ formation bypasses key production barriers of all solid state designs and dramatically simplifies manufacturing. We call it the drop-in process. And this is how it looks. The production process of the HPB solid-state electrolyte inside the battery cell is comparable to that of a two-component glue. So the addition of a liquid facilitates a chemical reaction within the initial solid ingredients, resulting in the formation of the HPB solid-state electrolyte directly within the cell. So the use of liquid raw materials has another decisive advantage. We don't reinvent the wheel for machinery production. conscious of time, so I'm very nearly to the last slides there, but I wanted to make it clear that this innovation is not something that we advance alone. It's continuous development. It's only possible because we have a strong network in place. Together, we look to be able to combine expertise, share insights, and push the boundaries of what's technically achievable. These collaborations strengthen HPB's technology base and ensures that continuous improvement. To sum it up, and this will be the last slide, it's really clear above everything else that the future of energy storage won't be driven just by isolated breakthroughs, but a collaborative ecosystem. Collaboration for us is in our DNA, and it's key to redefining the energy storage. Thank you very much for the time. I think I went over a little bit. Sorry for that, Max. But welcome any questions.
Thank you very much. And yes, 4 minutes are very quickly over. But thank you very much for the last comment you made, that how important it is to collaborate to form this ecosystem. I couldn't agree more. And for the questions, the best way is to just raise your hand, and then when I call your name, you just unmute yourself and you ask the question. If you can't or don't want to do this, you can also write it also in the chat. And I think we have already some questions from Steve. He wants to know, why are you solely focusing on stationary applications? Are these batteries prone to failure when exposed to mechanical stress?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. I think from our side of things, why we focus on the stationary application side of things is purely that there is a lot of focus very much in the market on the EV, on the automotive side of things, that are chasing a lot of very high characteristics. From our side of things, there isn't always the focus on stationary applications. However, with the way that our battery technology has been developed and the key characteristics that are in there, it fits perfectly with our characteristics. So the non-flammability, the high cycle life that's there. We do, however, and it's probably fair enough to be able to mention this, that we're not chasing certain characteristics like energy density that's there. There's technologies that are out that are looking at 300, 400, 500, 600 watt hours per kilogram, where ours is lower, around about the 110 to 160 watt hours per kilogram. And outside of that, we don't want to really be able to take away from the characteristics of the other strong performance areas that we actually have. So stationary applications are exceptionally suited to our characteristics, but the day-to-day need for stationary applications is there. And I think the other thing to mention, I'm conscious of time, is that the applications are huge in stationary applications that's there. We're seeing a lot of interest, whether it's in AI or data centers, for instance, or military applications as well. So the appetite is very much there.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. Rafail, Kasapis, CEO of Apollo Green Solutions, and we provide, as Simon said, smart energy management solutions to then operate those assets that being deployed, such as batteries, more efficiently. We are a team of 13 people with offices in Cologne and Greece, and also like HPB, like part of a bigger ecosystem of several associations, partners, and providers. Welcome to New Energy. We are installing photovoltaics, we are deploying assets, and we're digitalizing energy. And at the end, what we do is taking all those data points, connecting to those assets, and linking them intelligently. How does our solution offering look? It's not only a software, not only AI, but really an holistic solution that consists out of a local edge device, a box with different hardware components in, from meters to PLCs, where we then connect to those assets. We enrich the data with external data sources, weather data, market data, grid signals, to then optimize for different dimensions. As we have a multi-site approach, we are also able to aggregate and deaggregate along portfolios of decentralized assets. A little bit on the platform before I then go basically into a concrete use case. We're creating, as I said, a digital twin of a portfolio, connecting to those assets, able already to visualize and spot anomalies. We then do forecasts of loads of PV production, etc., to then optimize those assets, for example, based on the dynamic tariffs, day-ahead electricity prices on the spot markets. What makes us different? New energy solutions need new solutions. Traditional providers do have a one-dimensional optimization, can think of if-then business logics that are then implemented, whereas we have a multi-dimensional optimization, taking all those different data points and then along those different multiple dimensions find the best optimal to operate the assets. A very concrete example where it gets very obviously why we need intelligence on EMS. We have a multi-tenant direct solar energy provider for multi-tenant homes, in German Mietenstrommodell für Mehrfamilienhäuser in Cologne, where we basically they install photovoltaics, sell the electricity to some tenants, not all tenants, and there we currently also testing or deployed batteries where we have basically the challenge of only half of the building participating in this concept, as well as also the connection to the markets, where we then have a different and dynamic and very fragmented data landscape. What are we doing there? We're taking day-ahead market prices, solar production forecast, load forecast, grid fees to run then several models and get the optimized battery scheduler out. That's it. Like a quick intro about ourselves, what we do with batteries, how to run them more efficiently, and if you have questions, happy to get into those.
All right. So first off, thank you, Rafail, for this quick pitch. And question to the audience: is there any question right up front? Because I, of course, have a couple of, but I would like to give you the possibility. If not, I would like to understand a little bit more on the customers that you're serving. Your business model is more focused on B2B, correct?
Correct, B2B. We have a quite broad range. It starts from monitoring, really just digitalizing buildings, retrofitting them, taking energy relevant data, all the way down to then also controlling those assets. I made this one example of this direct electricity solution provider. We are also in stadiums like BVB Borussia Dortmund in Dortmund. I hope I don't have any soccer.
Big German soccer club. Yeah.
And we have hotel chains. We have retail stores that do then have to optimize their decentralized assets and portfolios.
Mm-hmm. So in regard of the installation, if you start a project like that, do you take the assets that are there? Are you also helping on developing the setup with them by setting up models? Like, how do you approach such a project if a retail store or a stadium like the BVB plans to optimize their electricity consumption, but also generation?
Yeah. We have several models or sector-specific models in place that do take those characteristics into consideration. Of course, a logistics a building will have different characteristics than the stadium. This is through sector-specific modeling of the optimization models. If it comes now very concrete to a project, we usually do a quick technical assessment of the building. We have standardized pre-configured and pre-mounted boxes that we are just deploying next to the electricity board or cabinet, and that's usually life cycle, or the execution of such a project is between 4 weeks and 3 months. The quickest one was 2 weeks. Depends a little bit then on the given availability of partners, of the customer, etc. But usually, as we work with standards, standard pre-configured box, standard modded stand for the sector, we can pretty simple execute and deliver those projects.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Maximilian, for the introduction. I want to give a brief overview about Circular Valley, and especially in particular about the Circular Economy Accelerator. Circular Valley, this is not only a name for a foundation that's the greater Rhine-Ruhr region in North Rhine-Westphalia, the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. To establish circular economy, we founded the Circular Valley Foundation. The foundation stands on 3 main pillars. First is policy recommendations, because we need level playing field, rules, regulations, and so on. The second pillar is the public relations, because 95% of the people don't even have a clue about what circular economy means. And the third pillar, what I'm talking about in the next slides, is our Circular Economy Accelerator. What do we do? The Accelerator offers an on-site program, a 3 weeks on-site program in our Accelerator, which is located in Wuppertal, in the heart of the Circular Valley. We invite 2 batches per year, batches of international startups which are dealing with solutions and business models around circular economy. And therefore, we offer a dense program of coaching, mentoring, hot chair sessions, company visits, and there's, of course, a demo day at the end. And what's more, we connect all the startups with our huge network of 150 partners, and the network is growing. And many companies and scientific organizations, universities, and other institutions like TraWeBa, for example. That means we connect them with the reality. So we support these young entrepreneurs, and after ending the active program on site, they are part of our alumni network. So we stay in touch with them furthermore. When I just told you about our network, which is growing, this slide shows you the network of our company partners. You see founders, sponsors, donors, and supporters. And we have a broad network across industry, as you can see, also supported by the state of North Rhine-Westphalia of 3 ministries, and with companies just all over Germany and international companies. And we have a broad network of cooperation partners like TraWeBa, as already was mentioned by Maximilian. So we need all hands and all brains to establish circular economy. And if you're interested in getting in touch with us, just call me. What are we looking for? We are looking for startups which deal with business models, solutions around circular economy. And we focus on these 9 giga topics, which we are looking for scalable solutions. This slide shows you that it is really an international accelerator, because we have startups in our alumni network from all over the world, from all continents, and already 150 startups have been here in this program, and the next batch will start in February. We're just calling for applications. So thank you for listening, and I'm open for your questions.
Thank you very much, and perfectly on time. So yeah, if there are questions, unmute yourself, raise your hand, unmute yourself, and just ask your question. In the meanwhile, since you're one of the experts, I think, of the problems the startups are facing right now, what would you say? What are the main obstacles a startup in the region of like circularity is facing at the moment? Is it money? Is it only money?
I think the topic of circularity is just in the background right now because everybody's discussing about the problems we have with critical raw materials in China, for example, or the discussions about America and Trump's tariff politics on the one hand. On the other hand, especially the German economy has some problems and faces challenges. So the topic of circularity is now just, let's say, in the background, but I'm very convinced that it will be on the top in 1 or 2 years again. But this is a problem just for connecting startups to companies which are not dealing with circular topics. This I think is the main obstacle. Also, we know the problem of investors in Germany, but I think the main problem is that companies are very hesitating to establish circular models.
All right. Are you helping to get in contact with the investors to find some way of?
Yeah, in our network we have investors, we have banks like the NRW Bank, for example, but also family offices. So we connect them to investors, we connect them to companies who are in need of solutions, we connect them to science and to universities, to connect them to sharp their business models and their ideas. So this is very helpful, I think, because of the feedback the startup are giving us. And I think this ecosystem is very helpful to establish circular economy in the hotspot of the Rhine-Ruhr region.
Right. Yeah,
and also we have cooperations with Flanders and the Netherlands to widen the region and to just have more power in the heart of Europe.
All right. Since there are no questions from the audience and we still have a little bit of time, I want to ask you one more thing to make this clear. So you're not only looking to startups located right next to you. So as a startup from kind of anywhere, I can apply for this program since it's like really compact for like 3 weeks. And maybe you could shortly say what is the who should I, if I'm a startup now, I'm interested in this, who should I get in contact with and what is the progress really quickly?
Sorry, just look on our website, there's the application form. And there are the key topics listed because we are looking for startups which deal with solutions around the topics we are looking for, and apply. And we will have a little interview and check what the idea is. And usually we get a couple of 100 applications and we select 15 with a jury out of this couple of 100 applications. So just if there's a startup which is interested, just look on the website or just contact me and I will connect you with our team.